there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures, and I'm back with a sort of crafting video. It's really good to be back. I've been dying to get back into my craft room and doing some things with you, talking to you and generally catching up. So today's the day. I've been working in the meantime in my little, this is my Christmas 2021 journal, which I got perhaps half finished last year, and then I had to stop because I went into hospital for my surgery. So I've got back and I've almost finished it, but I thought today we'll just do the last couple of bits, the last couple of pages together, and then I'll do a flip through and we'll move on to this year. So, and while I'm doing that, I'll tell you how it all went with the move. And so I'm just going right to the back here because I've only got these last couple of pages to do. So I thought, well, let's do those. I'll do those on camera, and while I'm doing them, we'll have a chat. So this is the page. I've just got a pocket on here, and I've only got a couple more pictures left to put in. So I'm just doing all my pictures from Christmas, as I've done every year. It's a little Christmas memory journal, and this is the third year I've done one. So I'm quite pleased that it's actually going to be completed. And this is just a picture of Hannah and George playing a game. It's not really adding anything to the story, I just like the picture. So I'm just going to decorate this page up a little bit before I get this in the pocket. I'm just going to take the bits out from behind here because this is for the next page. Just put those over here. And that one. Yeah, nope. So I've done a bit of preparation so that we don't take too long over this. Because I also want to show you what I'm going to be working in this year, something a bit special. So there we go. So I've got a couple of stamps ready to go here that I just want to stamp at the top of the page. So I'm going to start with this, which is the stamp set I'm using. Oh, I think it came out of a magazine or a kit or something. I've had it for a long time. It's just called A Traditional Christmas. They've got some beautiful stamps. I don't know if you can see those. Christmas tree and a big wreath, and I think it's aimed at card makers, these kind of things. So I haven't been able to use many of the big images very much, but I have used some of the smaller ones a few times, but I haven't used this Noel before, so that's what I'm going to use today, and also the little baubles. So I'm just going to, I think I'm going to put a little foam pad underneath, just to make sure. Although it doesn't really go right into the middle, so let's see if I can get this on. Let's just see where they can. Yeah, I should be able to put them right there. So I think I need my black archival. What have I done with it? Oh, it's right here next to me. So yeah, just to update you on the move. I may have mentioned a couple of times when I was doing the little welcome to my new craft room video, that there were a few problems, shall we say, on the day of the move. It all started so well. We were all packed up and in the removal van by 1 o'clock lunchtime on the Thursday. That had all gone brilliantly. They'd come the day before and packed all our stuff into boxes, and then they arrived first thing on the Thursday morning, and it all went swimmingly. And then we got the message that we'd completed and that the money had gotten through. Literally, they'd been gone. They left. They went on their way to the new house, and almost immediately we got the message to say the money had gone through, so we could follow on and get the keys. Well, that was all well and good until we arrived at the new house. Must have been about coming up for 2:30 when we arrived. I want to colour these in. They're just a couple of little baubles. I want to get some gold on there. So I'll just take this out. Yeah, we arrived, and the lady who we were buying the house from was still loading up her van, and they were still emptying the house. She'd hired these removal people who were clearly complete amateurs, hadn't got a clue what they were doing, and they were still a long way from being finished and packing her stuff into their vans. And our guys had no choice. They had to just sit there and watch, because they're not allowed to start moving stuff in until everything has been moved out of the house that you're moving into. So, obviously it would affect your insurance if anything happened, and who knew who had caused it? How would you claim? But the other problem was that they couldn't stay very long because the driver had to be back in a certain time, and they were allowing about 4 hours to unload. And if we didn't start unloading within the next hour, they would have to return to the warehouse with all our stuff, and that's what happened. The lady and her removal men were hours away from emptying the house and the garage, literally hours away. I'm just putting a little bit of gold on here, just make it sparkly. So our van, they went back to the warehouse with all our stuff in it, and we literally had the clothes we stood up in and nothing else. But they had to take our stuff. There was nothing they could do, and we actually got the message in the end that the move had finally been completed by 9 o'clock in the evening. Can you believe it? 9 o'clock in the evening it took them to move all our stuff out. It was just ludicrous, and what could we do? And unfortunately the removal guys had other commitments, and they couldn't redeliver our stuff, our furniture and all our clothes and everything else. They couldn't redeliver until, I don't think that's the right one to use. I think I should be using my Memento ink, not the Distress ink. That's not going to work. Sorry, I'm just having a rethink on that one. I knew I wanted to do red, but I think I got the wrong red one out. I think this one will work better. Red. So we literally had 3 days when we could get into the house, but we couldn't move in because we had no furniture or any clothes. So we stayed with the girls. Luckily, part of the reason for the move was to be closer to them. So we went to Hannah's the first night and had to pop out to a local M&S to stock up on some clothes because we literally had nothing. So, a few T-shirts and bits of underwear and stuff to keep us going for the next 3 days, because the removal men couldn't redeliver till Sunday. This was Thursday, and they couldn't redeliver till Sunday. So it was very frustrating. So we were able to come in and, on the next day, have a good look round. Actually had a look at this room, and this wasn't the room I intended to use as my craft room at all. I'd fully intended to use one of the rooms downstairs. But when we got here and saw just how big and spacious and light this room was, it was a bit of a no-brainer straight away. I mean, Richard said to me, this is going to be a much better room for you to use. And I could only agree. So here I am, and we're nearly ready. I've got we've been to IKEA, and we've got some shelves, and I've got another table, and so we're getting there. But I thought I can easily start crafting without having all those extra things set up. I just haven't unpacked all the boxes yet. Oh, I love how that's turned out, actually. By the way, I love this stamp. It's beautiful. And I'm happy with that. And the other thing I want to put on here, I've got this little ruffle. And I thought I'd just like a bit of ruffle. I've tried to put bits of ruffle, bits of lace, all sorts of bits all down the sides. I love the sides to be all fluffy with soft, touchy-feely bits. And I think this one's going to go on here. So where's it's a bit too long. I don't want it on the pocket, because the pocket's got its own bit of decoration. So I'm just going to cut it about here. And it can always be used as a tab or something. So I've just got it just along there. I'll just grab my... so as you can imagine, it was a couple of days when it was very tiring and very stressful, because we couldn't relax. I mean, we didn't have a chair to sit on. When we came in, we were started doing, particularly Richard did a lot of cleaning. We both did a lot of cleaning in the kitchen. It wasn't by any means in a bad state, this house. They'd actually had, as well as while they were moving out, they had done a lot of cleaning. So it was a lot better. I expected to come in and have, the the bathroom's really looking horrible, and you know, now kitchen as well. But no, it was actually in very good order, I must say. So although we did some cleaning, it's one of those things you feel that you just need to do it, don't you, when you first move into somewhere new, just to make it feel yours. But it wasn't an absolute essential to do that. Right, there we go. Nice little ruffle along the side there. Now what I'm going to do with this picture, I've picked out, this is a journal card from one of the Stamperia pads. I think it's the Classic Christmas. And I just quite like the way, when he goes in the pocket, put him in the pocket, he just looks at you over the top of the pocket. I thought he was rather nice. Good old Santa. So I'm just going to pop that picture on the back of here. I'm just going to round the corners. But now we're here. We've been here a month now. And to be honest, we've done a lot of work. Well, I say we. Rich has done a lot of work. I've done a lot of helping him to decide what colour to do things and stuff, and you know, keeping things ticking over behind in the background. But really, he's done all the real hard graft. We've painted the kitchen and the dining room and the little room that we are going to use. We've put all the toys in for Alyssa and her bed, but it's also going to double up as a little office as well, because it's a big enough room to work as both. Hannah's got quite keen to come and work here, funnily enough. She works from home pretty much all the time. Although her office is based in London, she doesn't really go in there very much. And she thought it'd be quite nice to have somewhere to go to work, you know, just to get out of her house, but not necessarily have to travel into London. And it was her idea. She said, oh, perhaps she could come here, 2 or 3 times a week and work from here. And we're more than happy for her to do that. So we thought, well, that would be a good room for her to use as well. And Richard as well, because he's now retired. He retired just before we moved. But he is doing some consultancy periodically. In fact, he's doing some today. So he will probably use that room as well. When we've got it set up. So at the moment we've got it all decorated and ready for Alyssa to sleep in if she wants to, but we haven't yet got a desk in there or anything like that, so that will come. Okay, there we are. I think that's that page, and that's all I'm going to do there. And then we've got this final page. I mean, I've got these couple of pages left, but to be honest, there's not really much I can, I've got one picture left, and so this is where it's going to go. And it's rather a nice one because it's a family shot that I think we set up the camera on the mantelpiece or something, and everybody was in. It's lovely. It's a really nice picture. Everybody's smiling. Even Alyssa is smiling. I suppose you can see there. She sometimes loves to pull faces when they point the camera at her. So actually catching her with a lovely smile is really nice. So that's going to be our final picture. So I'm just going to do corners again. I do like to round my corners. And also I want to put something on the back on this one because it's a bit boring, a bit plain. So I might start with that. So that's going to go there. And I was looking at some of the images that I have. I found this one and I thought, well, it goes rather well on there because it goes all the way down the page. But obviously I need something to put behind him. So I've got this piece of book page, which I've inked already, if you can see that. Not book page, music. Piece of music. So I thought I'd put him there. Actually, I can see the ink is coming through from the other side on that one, so I'm going to need to cover that up. So I have got... And actually, I was going to put that under here, wasn't I? So I need something to go at the top there. I think I did possibly find something. Let's have a look. I pulled out a few things. I've got to remember which side they were going to go on. I've got these bells. I might have to put something behind them because you can still see the red. So I'm going to put that there. And Santa there. something like that. And the bells are going to have to go over the top of the music paper. So am I going to get anything behind the bells? Let's have a think. I think if I can put a piece of, would it matter? Does it really matter? You can see a little bit of red ink coming through. Because I think otherwise it makes it too busy if I have too much going on up there. Let's think about what might go behind. I wonder if I could put just a piece of fabric maybe. Or maybe a piece of cheesecloth. Let's have a think. Let's get out the cheesecloth. So I have some cheesecloth in this little box. And I'm not sure about coffee dyed. I think I'd like something a little bit lighter than that. More the natural colour. It's quite difficult to work on because it's obviously quite fat now, the journal. But I wonder if I could put that on, whether that would just disguise the red ink from the background. Put that there. Let me try this. I don't know if I've got my book weight. I don't know if it'll hold it down enough. Just to see so I can see what I'm doing. Let's have a try with this. So I'm going to put a piece of that on there. A piece of that on there. And the bells. Like that. And then Santa. I think that possibly might work. I need to put the bells over a bit further though. How about that? That might work. Yeah, I'll give that a try. So I don't really like seeing the red coming through. So let's see. To put this on first. Let's tidy it up a little bit. Let's pop that on. I've never seen anybody else have this trouble with the little nozzle thing just falling off when you're trying to squeeze the glue out. It keeps doing that to me. Either the glue doesn't come out at all, or it comes out so fast that the nozzle shoots off. I don't know. It must be me. Right, let's just grab a piece of dry wet wipe, make sure it's all glued down. Now, one of the things I made a little note to myself about these bells. So I wanted to add glitter, but I don't want to add it while it's in the journal. So I might just add the glitter afterwards. Now I want to decide where this is going to go. So I don't want it to interfere with Santa too much. So if I put Santa there, the bells could go there. I could put a little phrase or word here. And I also have, where is it? I got this little phrase, whatever you'd call it. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. That was, I can't remember where I got this. This could be a Mrs. Coggs sheet that I bought a couple of years ago. And I thought that would be perfect because that's exactly what's happening. So I'd like to put that about there. So I might put up some little thing here. So first of all, I think I need to but put some glitter on the bells. Because I think that will just give it a bit of lovely Christmassy sparkle. Let's put these scissors out of the way. Yeah, wrote myself a little note. Add glitter. Just in case I forgot. So I've just got to decide where to add the glitter. I've got my Hobbycraft glitter glue pot. So I think I'll start off. Alright, it's glittered up. It'll be alright when it dries. But I'll need to leave that to one side now. Probably till tomorrow, because it's quite thick. Right, we go back to this one, this page. Now we just need to glue Santa on, down here, and the bells will go across here. And let's get the old glitter glue out again. Okay. So the way it should, hopefully it'll be okay. Let's just lay the bells on, make sure that I've left enough room. Yeah, so that'll go like that. Think that'll be okay? I hope. And I just need to put my, where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. I think we've all heard that phrase before from a very well-known book. It just seems really appropriate here, so I'm just grabbing my vintage photo just to go around those edges. I haven't used a lot of distressing in this journal because I like the bright colours and I don't want it overly distressed. And I think I might just tuck that on there. I'm going to tuck it in a little bit. There we go. That's that. And then I've just got to find a little something to go up here, but I haven't thought about that at the moment, so I'll have to come back to that. Let's just get this page finished. So I've just got to finish cutting this out. It's actually from a sheet by Angela Kerr. She's done some Christmas phrases and words. So I quite like this big Merry Christmas because it just finishes things off really at the end of the book. And I will just ink around just to get rid of the white edge, that's all. I'm not looking for much colour on the label, just knock back the white around the edges. There we go. So I've got my picture, my family picture and my Merry Christmas. Now all I need is something to back it onto. And of course, what better than a big red doily? And I think that's all it needs really, because it's quite a busy page and I just wanted something to go between. So I'm happy just to put the doily on. I just have to try not to squeeze too hard when it comes to the using it with just the black nozzle. Squeezing too hard is not usually something I have a problem with. Squeezing hard enough is usually my problem. Okay, there we are. And I'm just gonna, I had a load of these tape, careful, don't want to get the smudge my glitter. A lot of these tape pen things, I've had loads of them and I keep forgetting to use them, so I'm using them for my photographs. So really quite strong glue. I either use these or I use double-sided tape for the photos. I don't really like the idea of using a wet glue on the photographs. Right, there it is. There. And then Merry Christmas underneath. And that's it done. I'm glad I've got it done. I thought, well, am I really going to get around to doing it? Am I going to have time to do it? And I thought it'd be a real shame not to. I had all the photos, and it was, as it turned out, the last family Christmas in our old house. And things are changing this year because we're not even having Christmas in our house this year for the first time ever. We are going to Jenny's. We're all going, Hannah and George as well. So that will be really fun and really different. It'll feel really different, not actually having all the responsibility of cooking the Christmas meal and everything. I mean, we always used to do it together. The girls used to help, whoever was there. But you always have that responsibility of making sure you've got all the potatoes and the carrots and the sprouts and all the bits that you need to make sure everything is, you've got enough milk for everybody and enough, I don't know, enough bread and stuff like that. And we haven't got to think about those things this year. So that'll be quite fun. And also because I'm glad I'm not doing Christmas this year because there's just been so much else to do. Anyway, so this little bit still needs to be finished because, of course, I have to wait for the glitter to dry. But let's go back to the beginning and do a little flip through. I have got a playlist which showed the making of the journal and the first bit of journaling. So I will link that playlist below. So if you want to see how the journal came together, if perhaps you've joined me during the year and didn't, sorry, I'm just adjusting my chair here. If you joined me during the year and haven't seen this journal being made, I will link the playlist with all the different videos as I put it together, and then as I started working in it will all be there. So many of you would already have seen this. You may not remember it because it was obviously a long time ago. So I will just have a quick go through and show it, and it's now got all our Christmas memories in now. So, and I love this fabric. I love both these fabrics. It was really hard to decide what fabric to use for the cover. I think they're beautiful. I was a bit sad I didn't get to use the pocket because it's a really pretty pocket. I think this was a piece from Roxy Creations, but I didn't need it, but it just looks nice there. Christmas 2021. A lot of these papers. Ooh, I got a bit of a... need to add a little bit of glue here where this is coming of adrift. Do a little bit of remedial work as I go along. Yeah, so a lot of the papers are Roxy Creations, but not all. I think I did do a bit of an eclectic mix of papers last year. I used quite a lot of Tailor-Made Journals wallpaper as well in the album, in the journal, and a few other bits too. Right, so this is our Christmas meal with our friends that we've been doing this for probably more than 30 years, I would say. Group of us, there's 15 of us, we get together at the same weekend every single year. In fact, we had this year's get together this weekend just gone. So I'm filming this on the Monday and it was on the Saturday. So it's usually the first weekend in December, but last year we had to bring it forward a year. So it was right at the end of November. So I still put it in. So this is just a bunch of friends. They're all Richard's old school friends, so he's known them for far longer than I have. This was it's a little. I've forgotten myself what's in this journal. I've got a little waterfall here. Quite pleased with that. So this was a trip that Jenny and Gary and Alyssa all made with his sister to Woburn Centre Parks, and it was all Christmassy and beautiful and winter wonderland. So they had a wonderful few days there. So that's that waterfall. Quite pleased how that's turned out. I've forgotten I'd done that. And then this is just some more pictures from the same weekend and I've just written all about it on the back here, on the back of this big journal card. So a lot of the ephemera in here are things I made during the Roxy weekly challenge. So this piece was certainly from that challenge. Then we had a weekend away, and this is where we stayed. And appears to be something here. I think talking about, this is a little journal card that I've tucked in, talking about having that weekend away, visiting our friends in Norfolk. So that tucks in there, and that tucks in under there. So that's worked out quite nicely. And that was on the 3rd of December we went there. And this is just a bit more about that weekend, more writing about it. Behind this big belly band, some things that I bought for Christmas gifts. And again, a bit more about the weekend on the back of that journal card. Picture of me and my friend when I was there. So then I did some on the 6th of December. Oh, this was also that weekend. So it went over like it was like a long weekend, and this was when we were actually in Norwich, and we went to there was a Christmas tree festival going on. So it says Christmas tree festival in Norwich. And so I took some pictures of various bits, and this is a pocket made from the Dee Dee Farago Don't Freak Out Before Christmas series that she did last year. I think she's probably done it again this year. So I just tucked in some more pictures from that Christmas tree festival and our day in Norwich. And another one there where it says Christmas tree festival. There we go, just to make sure I knew exactly what was going on. 10th of December, made my first mince pies. And then I wrote about it on the back here. Tucked that in to just behind the doily there. And then we had the engagement lunch. This is when Hannah and George got engaged, and the whole family got together to celebrate their engagement. And this was all about the actually I might pop it in that way around. All about that day and what a lovely day it was. Double belly band there, really like that. Then they decorated their tree, and it says it's got a little picture of their ornament saying our first Christmas engaged. It's their last Christmas engaged as well, because now they've got the first Christmas married. So you all know they all got married. They both got married this year, so to each other, obviously. And there was a little picture of a little ornament, little arrangement that George's mum made for us. There we are, and this is about decorating our tree, and the little tree that we decorated for Alyssa and how much she loved it. So just a couple of little flip outs here. Flip, flip. I love a flip. This was when we went bride's dress shopping. unsuccessfully at the time, but she found a really beautiful wreath for her house as well at the same time. So again, we have a little flip talking about her perfect wedding dress and how that was the start of the search. Got a few pictures here. I think this might be as far as I got when I was doing the journal. I don't know how far I got it on camera. And I've just written here, Patrick was up to his usual tricks. Now, Patrick is her elf. I'm sure you've all heard of the elf on the shelf, and she's got one as well, who she's named Patrick. And there's a variety of pictures. Jenny just sends me pictures on, different days of all the different naughty things he's been up to, so I just put them all on these tags. This is another one of the DD Farrago pockets. So I've just put all the pictures of naughty Patrick onto these tags. I didn't have enough to put on all the two little tiny tags, so I just decorated those, a bit of Christmas ephemera. So I've put those in there. So I think that's quite a nice spot for all of Patrick's antics. And then here we've got some pictures of Christmas meal I had with my friends from, long-term friends from when we had our children. We were all friends from having our children together, and where we had that. Then this is Christmas actually starting, so this is when Jenny and Alyssa turned up to start Christmas with us. And Christmas Eve, big pocket, well, two pockets. A big pocket, but two things in it. So this was just saying that we were looking after Alyssa for a bit while Jenny went to pick up Gary, who hadn't been well, so he hadn't come with them the day before. This is now Christmas Eve. So she was just playing with all her toys in her bedroom and on the landing, having a lovely time. Richard and I were sort of swapping over, playing with her. And I gave her my box of buttons to play with. And I thought, she was having such a lovely time. I thought, I'll just pop downstairs and get my camera so I can take a picture. When I came back upstairs, she was in her room, I don't know if you could see that, just flinging buttons everywhere. They were just it was just cascading buttons all over the place. I mean, it was hilarious. And I thought, I only turned my back for 2 minutes, if that. And there she was. So I've tucked. So this is another pocket from the Roxy Creations challenge. And so I've got all the pictures. I took a few pictures of her playing with the buttons and flinging the buttons, and then trying to tidy them up afterwards. So that was funny, but it was like, oh no, what did I do? There we are. So that's tucked into there. So that's the start of the story, and that's the end of the story. So they've both gone in that big pocket. And then more Christmas, just Christmas Eve. I'm doing the Christmas Eve box in my Santa onesie that I think she quite liked me wearing. So these are just pictures of her opening her Christmas Eve box. I'm just talking about it on the back here. Right, the next page. I think this is all. Yes, this is the start of. No, this is still Christmas Eve. So this is. She was all dressed up and in her Christmas pajamas, and leaving out the carrot and the mince for the reindeer and the mince pie for Santa. So that's just a picture of her doing that. And then on this card. Oh yeah, that's her in her pyjamas. They'd gone into her Christmas Eve box with her name on. And I bought matching pyjamas for her parents as well, with their names on, or with Mummy and Daddy on. But neither fitted, so that was really annoying. So it was a shame, because it would have been quite nice to have the three of them all dressed the same, but they just didn't fit. So what can you do? You can't always know how these things are going to come up. And there was just us, Christmas Eve, doing a puzzle and having our meal. And a nice bit of lace along the side. I love a bit of ruff. I'm wondering, have I done enough? I think I've done enough lacy bits. I've tried to put as much in as I could get away with. Okay, Christmas Day, Christmas tree, Christmas morning, all dressed up in their finery. Ooh. put that back in that pocket. And I just decorated, put extra bits of decoration as I went along. Added these extra bits. This was already on there. And they're just pictures of us opening presents, or mostly Alyssa opening presents. And just a few of us doing the same. And if you remember, Richard made me a book cradle out of Lego because he left it too late to actually buy me a book binding cradle, which I had to buy myself after Christmas. And then having our Christmas meal. And this is me and Jenny in our Christmas aprons cooking together. So it's one of my favourite things to do on Christmas Day, is to cook the meal with my daughter. And it is. I've always enjoyed doing that with whichever daughter was around. And now we're on to Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December for anybody who's not in the UK. You might not know, well, I'm sure you do know it's called Boxing Day, but that's what we call it. And so we're going to be visited today. We're going to add to the family, because George and Hannah are coming. They've been at his parents' up until now. So there's just about the family tradition. I've stamped on here, family tradition. Another one of these pockets. And we went for a Boxing Day walk, as we always do on Boxing Day morning. So there's a few pictures in there of that. And then this is the chaos that ensues when the whole family gets together, and there's more presents. And then here we are. There's a certain small person dressed up in her outfit that's there's a show on over here for kids called Paw Patrol, and they're all dogs dressed, little puppies, and she's dressed up as one of the puppies, so she's living the part of being a puppy. And this one's called Sky. We bought her this outfit for Christmas, so she was doing her best to be a puppy. And yeah, just a few pictures of her with Hannah, who's her. They absolutely adore each other. She loves her Auntie Hannah. So I just put a few pictures onto these pockets. This is another one of the Dee Dee Farago pockets. You probably will have seen Gail using those as well. She did a lot of the pockets during the challenge, as I did, but I didn't do mine on camera. I made mine at home. I've still got quite a few left. And this is just a picture of Hannah. She just had her ring resized, her engagement ring, so she was very happy to show that off. You can't really see it very well, but she was really happy. I did a bit of stenciling on the back here and just wrote about it. There we go. We're nearly there now, and now we're back to the day that we've done, or the pages that we've done today. So there's Hannah and George there, and this really lovely card. Just make sure he's nice and central, so you can just see his eyes poking out. And there we all are together at the end. So that's it. That was my journal for this year. Again, I have another lovely pocket at the back that I haven't used, but so be it. I'm happy with how it's turned out. It's our story of Christmas, and it's just... I think I've had the comment before when I've done this, that people sometimes like to see not only a journal, how it's made, but sometimes how you actually use it once you've got it. And, you make the journal, and then you don't always know how people use it. So this is how I use my Christmas journal. It's really the only one I use. I only really work in a Christmas journal because I've always documented Christmas ever since since Jenny was a baby. I've documented with photographs, and then in scrapbooks. I've got scrapbooks with all our Christmases documented, so I'm just carrying it on in the journaling. It's just a different way of documenting it, but you get to document the whole of your Christmas story really in one of these, rather than just a few snapshots which you get to do in a scrapbook. So I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. I really love it. I love all my Christmas journals. It's nice and chunky, but it's not so chunky that you can't work in it or that you can't use it or look at it. So yeah, that's this one all done and finished. And now I need to move on to this year's journal, and I've got something special to show you for that. Bear with, I'll just put this to one side. So as you can imagine, I wasn't sure at all what I would do about Christmas this year, because I've not had time to even start making a Christmas journal to use this year. So I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. But then I was watching, well, I would consider her a friend, because we've been watching each other's channels for a while now. She's another lady in the UK, and her name's Alison, and she has a lovely channel called Crafty Ali Creates. I don't know if any of you watch her channel. I know she has quite a lot of subscribers, certainly a lot more than I do. And she does amazing work, and a lot of work with mixed media. She does the sort of thing that I don't really do, but I love to watch other people do. And I was watching a series. She's made several Christmas journals this year, and she was making a really lovely journal as a ring-bound journal, and I was watching it and enjoying watching the series. And right at the end, she said she decided to give this journal away as a giveaway to her as a thank you to her subscribers. And anybody who wanted to make a comment could win the journal. So I did so, because I thought, I have been enjoying watching it, and lo and behold, I won the journal. I've never won anything like that before. I was thrilled to bits, and it came at the weekend, so I thought I'd show you, because obviously it's perfect timing. I finished the last year's, I'm ready to start a journal for this year, and one has turned up on my doorstep. Oh, and it's a big boy. There it is. Oops, trying to get it to lie flat, because it's so full. So yeah, it's an amazing journal. I'm not going to do a complete flip through here, because Ali's done a perfectly good one on her channel, and I will link that below if you want to have a look at the journal. But I thought, well, I will start working in it. It's going to feel quite strange, because I've never worked in somebody else's journal that somebody else has put together before, so I don't quite know how it will work, because it's going to be very different. She has a different style to me, although I love all the traditional colours which she's used, and there's lots of Tim Holtz and really Victorian feel to a lot of the pages. I'll just show you a few just so you can get a flavour. So I think what the nice thing about a ring-bound journal is that I might have perhaps a few photographs I want to put in, and I can decide what page I use. And I think I might sort of get to here and think, well, this would be a perfect page to use for that, and I can take it out and rearrange it and put it in the order that I need to use it. So I think I'll have to give some thought to how I put it together, and I think what I'll do is each time I've got a page out, and I've already got photographs because we're already into December and I've been doing quite a lot of things, so it would be quite nice just to be able to start working in this journal, and I might do some of it on camera, or I might do little mini flip throughs as I go along. So I'm quite looking forward to getting started, because I have got quite a lot of things to record already, and I've just got to decide how what pages I use, and if it gets a bit too chunky, I can just take a few pages out and I can start a new one for next year, because I've been saying to her in my comments that I really wanted to make one of these myself. So now I have a model, and I might have a go at it myself next year. I don't know, because I have another idea that was something that I want to start making this year, but for next year. And I might do that in another video. I really want to make a start there. I've been inspired by something I saw on Gail's channel to make another type of journal or a different type of journal cover. So I really want to have a go at doing that. I really want to get going on doing some crafting of my own. So I will be working in this journal, probably off camera, and then I'll show you bits of it as I go along, possibly. Not got a lot of time left before Christmas, because we've only, it's only, 20 days away. So how much I'll get done, I don't know, but I will show you what I do when I've done it. But I have got a couple of other videos I want to make unrelated to this as well before Christmas, so I will be back with those. So thank you for joining me today. So this has gone on a bit of a long one, but there's been lots to catch up on, hasn't there? So I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.